Thanks, Mike. Coming up, we'll show you how Winthrop turns its swag on. Welcome back to Winthrop Close-Up. I'm Adriana Bradley. If you're looking for a laugh with a bit of entertainment, then the Swagger Jack sneak peek was where you should have been. Singing, dancing, and lip syncing is what some Winthrop students were doing to pump up the crowd. Students were reenacting some of today's popular artists and their hit songs on the big stage. The show collects canned goods to donate to the Rock Hill community and to help with poverty in the area. This sneak peek show is hosted by the NAACP chapter here at Winthrop University. If you're looking to join those students participating in Swagger Jack, make sure you contact the NAACP chapter. Positions are available from being stars to just being an extra on the stage. College students are always on the lookout for entertainment. Reporter Mike Zumak shows us what some students might be missing class for.
The fall is a popular time in video games. Between this season's AAA titles and new consoles, students might feel the urge to dip out of class to play some games. Titles like Borderlands, Skyrim, and the infamous World of Warcraft are notorious for making time disappear for students.
I made my way to the street to see if this season would have.
Fall is a popular time in video games. Between this season's AAA titles and new consoles, students might feel the urge to dip out of class to play some games. Titles like Borderlands, Skyrim, and the infamous World of Warcraft are notorious for making time disappear for students.
I made my way to the street to see if this season would have any effect on Winthrop.
I've never skipped class to play video games before because I want to make sure I'm not missing out on any important activities in class.
Back in freshman year, I was running a dungeon with my guild and all that, and it was coming to be time for class, and it ended up running a lot longer than I planned for it to be, so I just ended up skipping class and playing WoW all day. So.
I've never skipped class to play video games before, but I have skipped class to play ping pong.
With students willing to miss class to play video games, I wonder what a professor might say. I spoke with Dr. Schulte to get his opinion.
There are only so many opportunities in life to be part of a learning community and get together as a group. Video games aren't going to go anywhere, they'll be there when you're done, but these opportunities are rare and unique to a college environment.
I believe Dr. Schulte sums it up best, but for those of you out there looking to play video games, remember to finish your work. With Winthrop Close-Up, I'm Mike Zumak.
For those of you who have finished your work and are looking to play some video games, check out the Connect Corner located on the first floor of Diggs. If you don't have the coordination for gaming, Kristen Boyce shows us how students are using their voices instead of their hands.
The Winthrop University Voices of Praise Gospel Choir have returned with their second season of the Sunday Best Gospel Singing Competition. Students came to show support to the Winthrop Gospel Choir and also their talents. TJ Graham, a sophomore choral music education major, says he has been preparing but still felt nervous.
I feel like it was all right. I was very nervous, and I think my nerves showed during the audition, but overall I think it was okay. Could have done a lot better.
Austin Jefferson, a junior choral music major and director of the Winthrop Gospel Choir, says a number of people will be selected from the auditions to be in the actual competition.
And we have guest judges that are from Rock Hill and surrounding areas that will come in and decide who they believe will be Sunday's best. And that grand prize winner will receive a cash prize of $100.
Jefferson says that they have had a good turnout, and he believes it is going to be a tough decision this year.
Yes, I believe it's going to be a tough competition this year. This will be the second season that has really been a tough choice, but we have some very good contestants this season, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure everyone else is as well.
Though the competition is tough this year, only one can win the grand prize. I'm Kristen Boyce, reporting for Winthrop Close-Up.
The Sunday Best competition will be held on Sunday, October 28th. We will keep you posted on the location. It's the day the music died, or at least the retirees. Reporter Ted Patterson has more on the last show of rock lecturer Barry Drake.
Rock and roll has gone through different shapes and sounds since its beginnings, and no one knows that better than rock and roll lecturer Barry Drake. Having 4 different speeches about music from the 60s to the late 80s, what got him started?
After being a musician 20 years at colleges, during my show I would always talk about the songs I was playing, who wrote them, who did them first, where they came from, and I started doing more and more and more of that. Students seemed to like that. And one school in Pennsylvania came up to me and said, next year, can you come back and do 2 nights?
But his lectures are not just speaking to the audience. Drake also has some help from a few friends like George Harrison from the Beatles.
I mean, he was stubborn, and there were certain things about him which maybe people would have wanted
in the rap
to change.
section, I just felt like I didn't want to be the one doing all the talking for 3 minutes about rap while I'm playing song selections. So I found this perfect clip of an early rapper saying what I was going to say, but I'd rather have it in his voice. So I let him do the talking.
After 45 years of sharing his love of rock and roll, he is on his last college tour.
Right now it's playing itself out. I've accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish. I've done all the shows I wanted to do. Luckily, I received every award you can possibly get in the college market. Not that they're so important, but you sort of come to the end of that, and then what? And I have other things I want to do.
This event was so special that the DiGiorgio Student Union arranged a special farewell gift for Barry Drake and his wife, Pat, to show their love and appreciation. With this being his last show, Barry hopes that students will continue their pursuit of the knowledge of rock and roll. I'm Ted Patterson reporting for Winthrop Close-Up.
To learn more about Barry Drake and his lectures, visit his website at barrydrake.com. That wraps up this week's Arts and Entertainment. Catch us next week for a look at how buildings come to life.
Now for a look at what's happening around the world. There are just 2 weeks to go before the new Egyptian president's first 100 days in office are up. Only 4 out of the 64 problems he promised to tackle within that period have been resolved, according to a website monitoring his progress. The lack of progress has sent Egyptians out onto the streets to show their frustration and anger.
Japan's Coast Guard has chased off several Taiwanese ships that were in the waters of the East China Sea near a group of hotly contested islands that Japan, Taiwan, and China all say they own. Taiwan's news agency says that up to 100 fishing boats escorted by 10 Coast Guard ships were making the voyage to assert local fishermen's rights to operate in the waters.
Thanks for tuning in this week. Tune in next week to see how parking regulations are causing problems.
If you have comments or suggestions, contact us at winthrop.edu or at the Winthrop Close-Up Facebook page.